They don't understand. Casting judgment. I just stand on loyalty. I'm keeping it 100. And that will never change. You can hate it or you love it.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. Now, yes, this is another audio episode, and partly it's because I really wanted to hurry up and, film this episode and put it out for y'all, because I said, look, I'm not going to go another Tuesday without giving y'all an episode. I've been doing that these past few weeks. I think it's been like 2 weeks since I put out the last episode. I don't even remember, but it's been a couple of weeks since y'all got an episode, and I was like, look, I'm not going to do another week without giving y'all an episode or nothing like that. But the reason that I haven't put out any episodes was really just because of life stuff. My youngest nephew, he just graduated preschool, I think that's what it is, whatever it is before kindergarten. He just graduated, and he's gonna go on to kindergarten next year, which was a great moment for the family and whatever. Also, yesterday I went to one of my niece's flag football games. She got her team a winning touchdown, so I was a proud uncle in that moment. The other thing is also I was editing a video for my sister. She recently threw her friend a bridal shower, and sometimes I do get in my videographer bag. Like I don't try to be a videographer or anything like that. I wouldn't say that like I'm even that great at it, but she liked the work that I did on some of the other videos, so she wanted me to do this one. Maybe I'll upload it with this episode of the podcast, like give y'all double videos or whatever. But yeah, if you guys see a bridal shower video up around the same time as this one, then I decided, yeah, I'm gonna upload both. But the main thing and why I didn't really feel like making an episode like these past few weeks is also my cat Nyla died. If you guys have been a long-time fan of my channel, you know that I had two cats. One was Diamond, who died back in like 2017, and Nyla, yeah, she was holding out. She was staying strong past Diamond's death, but yeah, unfortunately, like a few weeks ago, she passed away. Don't really know the cause. My family said it happened while I was at work, so yeah, don't know the cause, but yeah, I was just dealing with that. The funny thing is, people don't really, like, some people don't really take into account like pet deaths. Because I remember like one time when, I'm not gonna say who the person was, but I'm friends with somebody, and I was telling them how that year I was dealing with the death of, like I said, my other cat Diamond, and they were like, yeah, but that's an animal. And I wasn't trying to disrespect him by saying like, comparing his friend's death to my cat's death. I wasn't trying to like say they, say nothing about like equal footing, like one's a human, one's a cat, but I was just still saying that a loss is a loss. So I was just trying to, make him feel better, and just say that a loss is a loss no matter what it is. And some people, they don't really take into account like when your pets die, but it's like, I do take death seriously, even whether it's a human or it's an animal. Like if it's your pet, like that's basically another person within your family. Like, yeah, obviously it's not a human, obviously all that, but it's still part of your family regardless. And Nyla, I don't know how the rest of my family feel about her, because they definitely had a lot of, bad moments with Nyla, but I love that cat like crazy. Like I loved Nyla and Diamond both like crazy. Quick story time. When I was younger, I always wanted a dog. Even to this day, I still want a dog. But my mom said dogs are way too much responsibility, so you can have a cat instead since it's less hands-on with them. And the day we were supposed to pick up Diamond from the shelter, we were only originally supposed to get Diamond, but, and this might sound like some movie, TV show type stuff or whatever, but on our way to go get Diamond, we were like, me and my brother was walking through the shelter and we saw Nyla staring at us. Like, you know, multiple people was walking past Nyla, and oh yeah, I should go by their names at the shelter. Diamond was Neely and Nyla was Paco. So Paco, which is really Nyla, Paco was staring at us, wasn't staring at nobody else, was staring at us. And we asked to see Nyla as well. They brought Diamond to us. We asked to see Nyla, and they instantly was like some of the most friendliest cats ever. Like, Diamond and Nyla was crawling all over us. It was almost like they instantly loved us. So we went in only expecting to get Diamond, but we were like, screw it, let's get both of them. And they were both like, they were basically both kittens. Like, Diamond was, I think, 8 months old and Nyla was only 6 months old. Like, they were both very young and they both got along with each other very well. So we were like, all right, let's get both of them together. And it was a cool thing to do that because, you know, pets get very territorial over, like, you know, their family and their spaces and stuff like that. And yeah, we got Diamond and Nyla when I was leaving 5th grade. This was like summer of 2010, I think. Like summer of 2010, we got Diamond and Nyla. I was going on to 6th grade, and we got them in July of 2010. And yeah, ever since then, yo, those cats, they were some cool cats. Not to sound corny or nothing like that, but like, you know, throughout most of my life, which it is crazy because, like, in 2010, we got them when I was, like, 11 years old or something like that. Like, I'm 23 now, and Nyla just died. So, basically, for half my life, for a little bit over half my life, I basically had both these cats. And Diamond died in 2017. And Nyla just died a few weeks ago. So it was crazy, not just because, like, you know, Nyla is a part of my like, I consider Nyla part of the family. I love Nyla a lot. But it's also the fact that, I don't know, that was almost a piece of my childhood. That, like, that's partly like saying bye to a piece of your childhood. Like, you got these cats when you were younger, and now it's like both of them are gone. And it's like, damn, like, that was one thing from when I was younger that I still had, but now I don't anymore. So yeah, when my dad told me that Nyla died, that hit me very hard. So yeah, you know, R.I.P. Nyla. You know, when I make it to heaven's gates, I hope you and Diamond are sitting there waiting for me. I didn't want this to be a sad episode, but I just wanted to explain why I haven't really, like, been posting or anything like that. But yeah, so let's get to some of the topics that I had today, and I don't really have too much topics. One thing is, I'm here to announce that I'm going to start uploading the podcast not only on YouTube, but also on Rumble. So if you guys do not know, Rumble is basically like another type of YouTube type of website. And I found out about Rumble because DJ Academics actually signed a deal with them recently. Or, you know, he's starting to, like, do a streaming deal with them. And he got into some controversy over that because Rumble is a very, like, say however you feel type of website. They don't restrict their users too much. So a lot of people go on there saying a whole bunch of like crazy stuff on there. Like apparently a lot of neo-Nazis be using, Rumble and stuff like that. And from what DJ Academics is saying, like Rumble, that's not what their intended image is. Like they don't want to be known as the neo-Nazi type YouTube website or anything like that. Like they don't want to be known for just that stuff. They just allow people to say their full opinions, but they don't. It's almost like allowing a platform where people are allowed to say their opinions, but you might not agree with it, but you want to give people that outlet. Basically, that's what Rumble kind of is like. It's basically like a YouTube where you can say your opinions and stuff like that. And from the little bit that I've been on it, it looks like live streaming and podcasts is like a very big thing for them. So, they're trying to clean up their image by signing people like DJ Academics. I think they were in talks with Kai Cenat, like, all the big streamers that were on Twitch. Like, they're trying to change the image so that people don't see them as, like, a negative type of website or anything like that. So, yeah. Also, the cool thing is I found out that you can get monetization from uploading on there. So that's one reason why I really wanted to get on there. But ultimately, I also want to put my stuff on Rumble just because, get my podcast more reach. Like, yeah, my podcast is on every streaming service that you can get podcasts on, and it's on here. And by here, I mean YouTube. But mostly I do want to give more of a reach to my podcast. So not only will I be uploading this episode onto YouTube and streaming services, but I will be also uploading this episode to Rumble, and I will also upload all my old episodes. I uploaded the last episode already onto Rumble, but I'm going to start uploading all the old episodes on there. I might have to put in the description that this stuff is old just so people know. But yeah, I am also going to start releasing content on Rumble. So if you guys also use Rumble, check that out. Like I said, I heard that you can get monetization on there. So definitely check my podcast out on there if you guys use it. Also, before I really get into like the real topics I really want to talk about, I also want to ask y'all, like, do you guys want me to start a Twitch channel or anything like that? Because I already have a Twitch, but I just don't use it. I don't really do anything with it. So, like, if you guys want me to do Twitch or something like that, like, let me know in the comments, because I do see new people checking out the podcast. I have gained, like, a few subscribers from this podcast. So like, yeah, if you guys are fans of mine, like, let me know. Do you guys want me to start doing Twitch streams? Like, I can still do podcasts, but also do like Twitch streams on the side, like, just so y'all can like get to know me more, and y'all can interact with me more. So like, yeah, let me know if you guys want that. The first topic that I really want to talk about, and keep in mind, I haven't really been uploading these past few weeks, so this is definitely an old topic, but Netflix finally released some information about the next Avatar series. Now, if you guys know me, I am a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not really a big fan of Legend of Korra, but I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. To me, I always tell people all the time, as far as storytelling, Avatar is the best show to me. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the best storytelling show of all time. Even if you take out the whole storytelling aspect, it is still one of my favorite shows of all time, regardless of whether it's a cartoon or live action series. Like, Avatar is a show that I believe everybody should watch. And to think that show came out when I was younger, like, that's crazy to me. Because, like, and the other crazy thing is, I remember talking to my aunt about how she watches Avatar now. And I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Because, like, you know how it is, like, when you have a younger family member and you just watch something on the TV just because they watch it too. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, now shows that I watched when I was younger that, like I said, my aunt, she probably watched this show with me at some point when I was younger, and probably like she was thinking like, oh, this is just some kid show, like who cares? Like now Avatar is to the point where like grown adults, like past its demographic, is like, this show is actually pretty good. So yeah, Avatar The Last Airbender is like one of the best shows ever. If you were one of the only 5 people on this earth that has never seen it, I feel like you really need to check it out. Actually, I strongly recommend that you check it out. It's on Netflix. I think it's also on Paramount Plus, but especially now that things are getting into motion with the live action remake on Netflix, definitely hurry up and check out the show. It's only 3 seasons. I mean, if you want to watch Legend of Korra, then I think like you have 7 seasons to watch, but like, and when I say 7 seasons, I mean the original Avatar only has 3 seasons. Legend of Korra, I think, only has 4. So if you want to watch the whole Avatar series up to this point, like, okay, 7 seasons. But the Netflix remake is only going to focus on The Last Airbender. So if you only want to focus on The Last Airbender, you only really have 3 seasons to watch of the animated series before watching this live action series. So, okay. So what did Netflix release? So they released 4 pictures and they released a teaser trailer. So the teaser trailer isn't really anything too crazy. It's really just, pictures of the 4 elements with the elements reacting around them. And then we get a logo for the Netflix series like Avatar, The Last Airbender. Like we really just get a look at the logo. That's all the teaser was. It wasn't no like clips from the show or anything like that. And then they released, like I said, they released 4 images. One was of Aang, one was of Katara, Sokka, and Zuko. And from what I heard, these are actual stills from the series. Like, these aren't just promotional photos just to show us what the characters look like. Like, these are actual, like, stills from episodes. And personally, I like the way that this looks. I like what I've been seeing so far. Like, some people have strong opinions on the costumes, especially with Zuko. Like, some people even have strong opinions on his scar. Look, here's the thing. With teaser photos like this, I don't understand how people have strong opinions on, how they look. Like, these are just simple photos with no context or anything of the show or anything like that. So I don't know how anybody can have a strong opinion on it. Like, to have a strong opinion on his scar, like, come on, bruh. Like, we're only looking at or not really a promotional image, but we're just looking at, and it's not even like, he has a helmet on in the picture, so we don't even get a full look at his face to see how bad the scar could really be. But even if the scar doesn't look any worse than how it did in that photo, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't really see how anybody can have like that strong of an emotion just yet. Like, relax, all right? Just relax a little bit. Like, wait until like an actual first trailer comes out. But as far as how the character looks, I love how the characters look. It looks like they stayed very true to what the animated series was like, but they also had some type of realism into the costuming of the characters. And I feel like one of the characters that shows off that balance is Aang. Like, his outfit is very colorful and vibrant, kind of like how it was in the actual animated series, but you can also tell that they took into account like how it would look in a real life setting. Like, they don't want it to come off like cosplay, but it also looks very realistic. So yeah, I like all the costuming that I've seen so far. I just like everything that we've seen thus far. Some people do have their worries about the show, especially since the original creators of the animated show left. And apparently there was like, what's the word? Creative differences. So, there is worry. There is some stuff to be worried about, but I don't think that we should like be all up in arms until we see what the show is actually like. Like, wait until the show comes out, because here's the thing. Well, yeah, we're not really going to know how it is until the show really comes out. But besides the creative differences and like the original creators leaving, I still have faith in this because, well, for one, Netflix went into this fully knowing how The Last Airbender was. And when I say The Last Airbender, I mean the movie that was the original adaptation to the show. The 2010 movie was so hated by fans to the point where like even M. Night Shyamalan had to admit like, you know, he messed up with that movie. So I think Netflix is going into this fully well knowing like, okay, we do not want to disappoint the fans, you know, like how the original 2010 movie did. And then also, from what I'm hearing, Netflix is putting a lot of like their resources into this. I was initially worried about the show because Netflix is known to cancel shows, especially if they have too high of a budget. Like Netflix will cancel a show like how Tommy will cancel anybody on Power. Like, if you watch Power, you know that Netflix is basically like the company version of Tommy, and all the people he killed is just like the TV shows. Like, Netflix be canceling shows for nothing. Like, if a show just looks slightly off, they will cancel it. So I was very worried about them saying they wanted to adapt Avatar, because it's like, oh my gosh, like Avatar, they always canceling shows over budgets. I will never forgive Netflix for canceling The Get Down. Like, they canceled that because of budget reasons. The Get Down is still my favorite show ever to release on Netflix. So, like, yeah, them canceling that was a big disservice. But, all right, rant over. Basically, I'm just saying that Netflix, they cancel shows before over budgets. So I was very worried about Avatar because I'm like, do they not think they're going to have to spend a big budget on this? Like, first off, the costuming, the settings, the bending, Appa and Momo and other spiritual creatures that show up in the Avatar universe. Like, Netflix is pretty much going to have to put everything into this show if they hope for this to succeed. And from what I'm hearing, thankfully they know that. Thankfully they know that they're going to have to put all that in. From what I'm hearing, Netflix is trying to make this like their new big show. Like, Stranger Things is about to end, and they're basically saying that Avatar is supposed to take the place of Stranger Things. Like, this is going to be the show that they pour all their money into. And from what I'm hearing, Netflix is basically treating this like their Game of Thrones. Like, you know, this is their Games of Thrones. This is the show that they're going to put everything into in hopes that everybody loves it, especially the fans of the original animated series. So I very much like that they're taking all these precautions. I have heard that there is going to be differences, especially one of those differences apparently being now they're going to push more of the love triangle angle between Aang, Katara, and Zuko. I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope that does not happen. But if it does, because I hate love triangles. First off, I hate love triangles in shows. Oh my gosh, there is so many love triangles in shows that feel hella unnecessary. Yo, one of my favorite shows of all time is Boy Meets World. When I saw the sequel series Girl Meets World and they had a love triangle in that, I was so pissed off, especially with the way that it ended. I'm like, you guys made us go through all of this just for it to end like this. Like, come on, bruh. But yeah, love triangles, I hate that. If you guys are going to introduce a love triangle, please do not make it overstay its welcome. Like, if you're going to and this goes for anybody making any type of like upcoming show or anything like that, do not make the love triangles, do not make them overstay their welcome. You can have a little fun with it for a few episodes, but do not keep it around for the whole damn series. Don't nobody like them. Nobody likes love triangles. Okay, now I'm not going to say nobody does, but most people do not like it. Do not keep it around way longer than it needs to be. Okay? Thank you. Also, and this is about to sound hella hypocritical, but when it comes to the original Avatar, I am a firm believer of Aang and Katara always being endgame. Some people believe Zuko and Katara should have been endgame, but no, I am a firm believer that Aang and Katara was always meant to be. Anybody that believes that Katara and Zuko should have been together, argue with yourselves, because that does not make any sense to me. Just like how with iCarly, when people say that Sam and Freddie should have been together, I definitely do not believe that they should have been together. What I think it is that people love the opposites attract type thing. And I mean, in real life, that does happen sometimes. Sometimes couples, sometimes people that aren't meant to be together are the people that are very much opposites that you might not ever expect them to be together. But not in every case, though. Like, in some cases, y'all gotta let go of that opposites attract stuff. Like, no. But yeah. And then I hope that, because I know that this show isn't going to follow too closely. Like, it is going to follow the show a lot, but it's not going to be like a beat for beat remake. Like, obviously there is going to be changes. Some of the changes also have to do with the characters, like as far as age. Like with an animated series, you have the benefit of that you don't have to age the characters, but with a live action show, like obviously the characters are going to grow up. They are going to get older. The kid that plays Aang, like obviously throughout real life, he's gonna grow up, he's gonna hit puberty, he's gonna, like, you know, deal with all of that. So for a live action series, you're gonna have to take that into consideration. So like, if they have to do differences with ages, then yeah, I'm fine with that. But here's what it is, and I actually did a paper on my last semester of school about adaptions, and pretty much my overall thesis was that, because we were talking about novels to films, like film, and I did a paper on film adaptations that are just as good as the source material or better. And one of the conclusions that I came to that was that the reason that adaptations can be better is if they, you know, basically like work on the established stuff that was in the original source material. Like the best way I can explain it, I used Where the Wild Things Are as one of my examples, because that is one of my favorite movies of all time, Where the Wild Things Are. With the book, we just get a simple 10 to 12 pages of just Max going wild in his room with the creatures and stuff like that. In the film, they added more to what was already established without ruining the source material. Like, it's still him going crazy with these creatures, but these creatures are embodiments of his feelings, his family, and the challenges that he faces in his real life. Like, if you guys get what I'm saying, the adaptation basically added more on to what was originally established, but they didn't do it without alienating the fans of the original and without alienating the message of the original. Because essentially with this Avatar live action remake, you guys can make changes but still keep the essence of what made the original show good. I know I just did a whole bunch of talking for something that probably could have been summed up very simply, but as you guys can tell, I am very passionate about this Avatar show. I want it to be good. I do not want this to be another case of The Last Airbender. I do not want another adaptation that really, really ruins the show. Like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for anybody that watched that movie but never watched the original show, because you guys would, like, anybody that watched that movie but never watched the original show, they probably would think the show was as bad. And that's not the case, because Avatar The Last Airbender is one of the best shows to ever come out. So, like, yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. I like what I'm seeing, but I definitely want to see a trailer. Hopefully we get one soon, because in the teaser, it does say that we are supposed to get the show in 2024. Hopefully we get it fall or maybe winter. Oh wait, no, not fall or winter. I mean, spring or summer of 2024. Like, I hope it gets one of those release dates. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this show, and hopefully Netflix sticks the landing, because I don't want another bad like Avatar adaptation. So yeah, I hope Netflix really sticks the landing on this one. And I do like to spread a little bit of positivity. This might be an unpopular opinion, but honestly, if I had to give one positive to the last Airbender 2010 movie, and this is something that I've always said, even when I was younger, and as I've gotten older, I have rewatched the movie multiple times, and this has never changed in my opinion. The one thing I will never say is bad about that movie is the setting and the atmosphere of the movie. Like, as far as the settings, like the water tribes looked amazing in the movie, the air temples look good in the movie, the earthbending kingdom looked good in the movie, the costuming also looked really good. Like, I like what they did. I like more what they did with these live action Netflix versions, but I won't deny that the costuming for Aang, Sokka, Katara, all the water tribe, everybody that we seen in the original movie, as far as costuming. Now, I'm not talking about casting. I am very glad that with the Netflix show, they did go with the nationalities that the original cartoon was based on. I'm glad that they're going with the original ethnicities, but when it comes to the last Airbender movie, I'm not talking about casting. I'm not talking about ethnicities, because I always believe that they should have stuck with the original ethnicities as far as the show. But I do love the costumes in the last Airbender movie. Like, I liked Aang's costume. I liked, how all the different tribes looked. I thought it was an interesting choice into making the firebenders' primary colors mostly black. Like, if you watch the original show, their primary colors are red and black, but in the live action movie, their colors are black and red, if you guys are getting what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the costumes from the cartoon and the 2010 movie, you can tell, they're still using the red and black color scheme, but you can tell that there's more of an emphasis on the black and the red, if you guys get what I'm saying. I know I sound like a complete nerd or whatever, but if you know, okay? Yeah, so I just want to say that is the one positive I will give to The Last Airbender. And I mean the movie. That's the one positive I'll give to The Last Airbender movie. The settings and the costumes. And even the look of Momo and Appa wasn't really that bad in my opinion, but that's one thing in the live action series I really can't wait to see. How cute will they make Momo and Appa? Because I'm not going to lie, The Last Airbender, Appa did not look cute at all. He did not. But I still liked his look. But yeah, for this show, I really hope they keep up with the idea of having... I hope they keep up with the idea of having it stay true to the show while also keeping it real, like what they did with the costumes for these characters. So, yeah. The last, and I guess I had two topics written down in my notes, but I guess these could be used as one whole topic. And if you guys seen the episode where I was talking to Al about the writer strike, one thing I brought up in that episode was about comedies falling out of the light as far as going to theaters. And what I said to him was, if you really think about it, we haven't really been getting comedies in theaters as much as we used to. And I was telling him how I feel like streaming services, studios are using streaming services as a dumping ground for comedy movies. Cause I'm a big believer in that comedies is one of the best genres in film. I believe that comedies are, me going through film school and how I see the industry treating comedy movies, I can tell that there's not that much of a respect for comedy movies anymore. And partly I feel like that disrespect towards comedies partly comes from the fact that, while comedy is a great genre to explore things about real life, I do also feel like people find quick bucks in making comedy movies, like dumb comedy movies. But I always was a firm believer in that comedy was one of the best genres, because I feel like comedy is one of the best ways to call out or to point out things in society, or point out deeper things. Like, I always use The Hangover as an example. I'll use one of the last comedies I've seen in theaters. And when I say comedies, I mean straight up comedy. I don't mean like movies like Ready or Not, where it's like a horror, but it has comedic elements in it. Or like Marvel movies, where it's a superhero movie, but it has comedic elements. Like, I don't mean that. I mean, like, movies are comedies first and foremost, and maybe they might have something else. One of the comedies that I remember last seeing in theaters was Good Boys. And the thing that me and my friend Josh loved about that movie was the fact that, the trailers gave you a movie where it seemed like it was just going to be like, oh, these little kids is cussing and doing adult stuff. But really, at the essence of the movie really is about friendship. And it even had the boys start to question, like, are we really friends because we really necessarily like each other, or because we just happen to live near each other? Like, it's just convenient for us to be friends. Like, I love when movies come up with like deeper things to ask and deeper things to talk about than that. So, that's why I really like comedies. Like, especially one of my favorite comedies of all time is American Pie. And of course, growing up, all I heard was American Pie is like the teen sex comedy. Like, this movie is just straight up raunchy, all about sex. And trust me, it is raunchy, and it does mostly talk about sex. But the main message of the movie was about saving, your first time for that right person. And it was also about love. And like, basically these guys was learning lessons about women and learning lessons about life in a way. So like, yeah, it is a raunchy sex comedy, but there is still things to take away from it. But what I feel like killed the comedy, going to theaters and stuff, is that, like I said, as long as you can make people laugh, to throw out a comedy. And there was a lot of dumb comedies released where like there is no thing to pull from this movie. There is no message. Like, they really just made this shit for a quick buck. Dang, I was not trying to cuss this episode, but well, I already messed that up. Like, I love Adam Sandler. I am a big defender of Adam Sandler, but Jack and Jill is one of those dumb comedies where I do not think there was a real message that he was trying to pull out. I really think he was just trying to make a movie just to make a movie. So yeah, I feel like dumb comedies have ruined it to where people just disrespect the comedy genre. And, I really feel like we have had a big disservice these past few years as far as comedies. And the only times you ever really get comedic films is if comedy is inserted in other genre films, or if they're independent films. Those are really the only type of comedies we really get in theaters anymore. But this year, I'm starting to see a little change in things, and I am very happy. I am so happy that I'm starting to see a change in things, because in this year alone, one movie that I recently seen in theaters was The Blackening. And I wouldn't necessarily call it a parody movie, even though it does make fun of the horror genre a lot. But that's what I mean about comedies that I miss. Like, this movie was a comedy first and foremost, and it had horror elements to it, and it was making fun of horror tropes of like black people being in horror movies. Like, that's what I mean by a straight up comedy. Like, horror comedy. Other movies would just be horror movies with comedies sprinkled in. Other movies would be action comedy. Like, it's an action movie, but it has comedy sprinkled in. No, movies like The Blackening is a comedy first and a horror second. It was basically a comedy movie with a horror commentary on... Actually, the whole movie was somewhat of a commentary on black people and black people in horror. So, like, yeah, I love comedies like that where it's meant to make you laugh, but it's also meant to, point out things. Also, this is another movie I plan on seeing this week. No Strings Attached. I think that. Oh, No Hard Feelings. I think that's the new movie with Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, that movie actually beat out Elemental and The Flash from what I've been seeing. Like, that movie beat out those movies in the box office. And to hear a comedy beat a superhero film and beat Pixar, like, that's crazy to even think. Like, yo, I did not think I would see something like that, like, anytime soon. So, yeah, definitely. I am very happy to see comedies coming back to the forefront in films. In theaters. Another film that's supposed to come out later this year. Okay, now when I say dumb comedies, this one looks like a dumb comedy, but I'll still give it a chance. It's a film called Joyride. The trailers doesn't really look that good to me, but like I said, I will give it a chance because I'm going off the marketing. And just like what I said before, marketing can really make a movie look completely different than what it's really trying to say. So I'll give Joyride a chance. I definitely plan on seeing No Hard Feelings pretty soon. But as far as The Blackening, what was my thoughts on that? Well, from what I already said, yeah, I enjoyed The Blackening a lot. The twist at the end of the movie I felt like was very predictable, but it wasn't really meant to be like that big of a twist anyway. Like I said, this movie is more supposed to be a comedy first and foremost. So yes, definitely I went to go see this with my cousin, and we definitely had a good time watching it. It really gave me like that old feel of like going to see comedies in theaters again. It was great to be in a room full of people just dying. And I don't mean like dying. I mean like just dying laughing in a theater again. Like, that's an experience I haven't had in so long. And it felt so good to finally do that after all these years. So kudos to, I forget who, from what I've seen, Blackening is based off like a skit or a short film that one of the characters, I think he's also the creator of the original skit, but he also plays a character in this movie. Kudos to him for, getting this far, turning this skit into a full-length film. Like, this film was a very good one. I can see myself buying it if it doesn't get on a lot of streaming services. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it. It's definitely up there for like one of my favorite films of the year. Also, shout out Tim Story. I think he's the one that directed this movie. I be trying to tell people about like other black directors that people be looking over, because like we always talk about the Tyler Perrys, the Jordan Peels, the Spike Lees. Like, we always talked about them, but like there's other directors out there that there's other black directors out there that definitely needs to be talked about too. And Tim Story, I think he's the one that directed this. I will double check later, but yeah, I think he's the one that directed this movie, and he is definitely was someone growing up that I've seen a lot of his movies, and he made some of my favorite movies of all time. So like, yeah, he's another black director that I feel like needs some recognition as far as like when we talk about black creators and stuff like that. So yeah, The Blackening was a good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, please go check it out. Go enjoy it. Hell, even if, no matter what nationality you are, yo, my cousin was telling me that white people was in there laughing harder than the black people in The Blackening. So like, don't look, just because it's a black movie, do not turn away from it. Please go check it out. It was a great movie. I feel like anyone can enjoy it. If you're a fan of comedy, especially if you're a fan of horror, definitely check it out. This movie was a good one. And yeah, the other movie that I also wanted to talk about, this one didn't go to theaters. This was a streaming comedy movie, and this was the remake of White Men Can't Jump. I never seen the original. I know it's crazy. I'm black. I never seen that movie. It's a black classic. People be acting like if you didn't see a black classic movie and you're black, like they act like it's the end of the world. Like, there's a few I haven't seen. Like, I didn't see Soul Food. I think that's the name of it. I didn't see Soul Food until like last month. I ain't see the original White Men Can't Jump. I ain't seen Love Jones or anything like that. Like I have seen a lot of black classic movies, but they're just a little bit that I haven't seen. And like when I tell people that, like they go crazy. Like when I told my friend I ain't see Soul Food yet, she was like, "What? How you never seen Soul Food?" So like, yeah. But back to what I was saying. White Men Can't Jump, the remake. I just wanted to give a quick review on that, just like I did for the Blackening. And White Men Can't Jump, I really hope the original is better. Like, I did kind of want to watch the original after watching this remake, because like the remake is just, I won't say it was terrible. Like, I don't think it was a trash or terrible movie, but it wasn't anything amazing or special or even good. Like, it's just a very okay movie. Like, I have a feeling, and I'm only saying this because I've never seen the original, but I have a feeling that this was one of those remakes where they didn't want to alienate people too much, so they played it very safe. And I mean, from what I've read online, like there is a good amount of differences in the original and this remake, but me watching it, I very much got the feeling that they were really playing this one safe. Like this movie does not do anything special at all. Like, I remember when I was talking about the new remake of House Party, which it's funny because the same person that directed the House Party 2023 also directed White Man Can't Jump 2023. This dude is just special in doing remakes and sequels. Like, that's all this guy does. This one director, that seems to all he does, is just do remakes and sequels. So yeah. Yeah, this movie just felt very, very safe. And I have to say, like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to start, like, if I see this guy's name, I forget who the director is, but House Party 2023 was just an okay movie to me. And this movie was worse, but it was still just okay to me. If I see this director's name on any trailer for a movie again, I'm probably just gonna be like, I ain't gonna be in no rush to see it. Cause yeah, his movies so far has not really been like that great. And yeah, nah. So if you guys are fans of the original White Men Can't Jump, I don't know if I can even recommend this to you, because like I've never seen the original. But like I said, I feel like this remake is just way too damn safe. Like there is really nothing that stands out about this. So like I won't recommend the movie. If you watch it, then I hope you guys find some type of like big enjoyment out of it. But if you don't watch it, trust me, you're not really missing anything at all. Like this remake has been out for a while, and I just seen it. I just seen it like 2 days ago, and like yeah, like I don't feel anything strongly about the movie. I will say that the acting in the movie was decent. Like Jack Harlow, I think this was his first time in an acting role, and he wasn't too bad. Like, he wasn't too bad. Once you look past the fact that it's Jack Harlow, like, he's really not too bad of an actor, but I don't see him, like, he should still stick to the mic, because I don't see him going into, like, a very serious role after this. Like, this movie... he was decent in this, but I can't see him doing anything more serious or anything like that. But hey, you never know. You never know. He could prove me wrong. But yeah, that's all the topics that I had for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will be more consistent. I will be more consistent. Sorry I haven't been uploading. And like I said, check out the podcast on Rumble if you guys also use that. If you're on streaming services, check out Rumble, check out YouTube. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, check out me on the streaming services. Like, just check out the podcast, support in any way, shape, or form. Also, let me know if you guys want Twitch streams or anything like that. Like, let me know if you guys want me to do more so that y'all can get to know me and stuff like that. Also, if I do decide to put out the bridal shower video, check that one out. Let me know if you guys do want me to do more like videography type stuff. So yeah, with all that being said, dang, how did I mess up my outro? You know, that's a streak. I went on a good streak without messing up my outro. But yeah, with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. See y'all in the next one.